Hey, what's up, besties? Welcome back. Today we're going to do a Draw My Life. I was always obsessed with these as a kid. I was addicted. The chokehold that Draw My Lives had on me in like 2008 all the way to 2014. Whenever one came out, I'm like, this is a banger. So let's get right into it. I'm so excited. This took so much effort. So my mom and dad were actually teen parents. There's my dad. My dad is actually blind, so you're gonna see he has little glasses throughout the whole story, and that's his little baseball hat. My mom is 4'11". She's a tiny queen. We love her. There she is, pregnant with me in her belly. She said I was a really good baby. I was born a few months early, premature. I was born on June 13th, 2000, so I am a Gemini queen. And yeah, we were born. I was born in New York, but you're gonna see shortly. We actually moved to Pennsylvania. My mom said as a baby, like from like 0 to like 4 years old, I was pretty quiet. I really wasn't that loud till after when I got older. So I was actually a woman in STEM since day one. I used to be obsessed with helping my dad fix his computer, tech, video games, anything that involved like PS2, Game Boy. I was always into that stuff. So whenever it came to just nerdy things, I really loved it. I was always playing the PS2. I remember Grand Theft Auto Vice City was my favorite thing, and I always played on my little Game Boy Advance, and I just knew I always wanted to do something involving either gaming or taking videos of myself. So when we started to move over to Pennsylvania, my parents actually got me my first laptop, but here I am as a little baby just playing my little games. That little thing in my hand is my Game Boy Advance that I always played on. So when I was around 3 years old, we decided to move to Pennsylvania from New York City. So our family was pretty sad about it, but it wasn't that bad because we weren't that far. We were only like a state away. Like New Jersey was kind of in between us. So I would go on the weekends to New York all of the time. The only thing was that, my mom and dad would miss their family, but we had this Pennsylvanian dream. My mom wanted me to go to a really good school, and she just wanted to get away from the city, kind of be in the suburban area. So at first I didn't like it, and you're going to see how that kind of went. When I first started going to school, at first I was perfectly fine, but then the kids started to notice that I looked a little different. So I was the only Hispanic kid in a lot of my classes. There was like maybe I'd say 2 or 3 of us, but in some of them I was the only Hispanic kid. So I got bullied a lot. I would get called Harry, get called monkey arms. People had all different names for me. They were just a bunch of bots and they were really, really mad that I looked different. It was definitely hard for me to adjust to that, but I ended up switching schools to a different one because we moved, and I loved it. I ended up liking my middle school. I very much enjoyed it. It was kind of just elementary school that was a problem, and I also started to shave my arms and have never stopped. So that just goes to show, you get bullied once for hairy arms, you'll always shave your arms. Being from New York, I called my parents my ma and my pa. So my ma and my pa were always so supportive growing up. They kind of taught me, be smart, stay in school, do your things. But they were very proud at how good I was at STEM things. So I always like to take apart my laptops. I like to show my mom. I would take apart Rubik's Cubes and put them back together and told my mom that I solved them when I really didn't. Like, I learned how to solve them later in life, but I always just did like dumb things like that, and my mom would be so proud. Like, she would be so happy. So here I am helping my dad with his PC, and then I always had a PS3 that I would play GTA 4 on. So my mom actually put me in robotics camp before I went to a STEM high school. So I had to take this test, and I kind of took it, and I got into a STEM high school, and I was so excited to be around other girlies who'd probably be just like me. I actually ended up being in classes with only like 2, 3 girls for the most part when it came to the STEM classes or the tech classes, but I really liked it. But when I was in elementary school, I kind of forgot to mention this, my mom had my sister, and I thought that was the end of the world because my cousins told me that you lose your attention from your parents if you have a sister. But it ended up actually being the opposite. Me and my sister got along pretty much. She would bully me, but we got along. When my sister was actually born, and all the way up until I think it was like ninth grade, I would always make YouTube videos of myself. So when high school started, I was like, I'm gonna make more YouTube videos, and I'm actually gonna show my face and post them and stuff. So I made a few videos like back to school hauls and things like that, but kids kind of bullied me into saying like, hey, you're not going to be famous, you're not going to be a YouTuber. So I was very sad about this, and I ended up scrapping my whole channel, and it wasn't until after college that I restarted YouTube back up. So in ninth grade, I had a really hard time adjusting. I'm sure you guys can see a common theme. I just felt really different. I felt different. So this kid actually ended up telling me that I was big and not as skinny as my Instagram photos, and this kind of stuck with me. This stuck with me all throughout high school, and for some reason, this is when my eating issues developed, and when I was around 14, because it was very hard for me. So I'm sure you guys can see a reoccurring theme. I really cared about what people thought when I was younger. So these comments really sat with me all throughout my time. I just felt weird. And I ended up developing something called body dysmorphia. So when I look at myself, sometimes I will think that I am 20 to 30 pounds heavier than I actually am. And this has impacted me now to this day. I will get severe anxiety on camera, and some days I just don't want to look at myself. Now, it's gotten a lot better. I'm now recovered, but it got to the point where you can see here, I was eating lunch in the bathroom, or I wouldn't even eat lunch. I would just sit in the bathroom. And around this time, I'm very lucky to have met great people in my life. I ended up meeting my boyfriend, which you will see in my next drawing, but I was very, very sad. I met my boyfriend in gym class. I thought he was so cute, and I got on the bus right after gym class to tell everyone how cute he was. And our friend Devin actually ended up telling Tyler that I thought he was so cute. So Tyler was so sweet. Throughout high school, it was just like a roller coaster of our relationship for a long time. But I really I liked him a lot, and I'm one of those people where if you have me as a friend, you'll have me for life. So we were 14 then, and we're now still together at 23. I think that that is a really, really good sign, and a lot of my friendships and relationships have been for years and years because I cherish those around me. Junior year, I met my best friend Caitlin, and we're still friends to this day. She would often tell me all of the time. Oh, also, that's her little yellow shirt because she loves yellow, and she was so confident. When I met her in class, she was basically dominating these boys in a debate on why Iron Man is better than any other superhero, and seeing her speak with such confidence and authority made me so excited. I've never met someone like Caitlin, so I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be strong like her. And so she said, you're sensitive and that's okay. And she always kept telling me that throughout high school. You are allowed to be sensitive, but you need to be strong sensitive. So she taught me my voice and taught me how to be confident, and together we were just fearless. Like, we would do whatever, and that is my bestie to this very day. She is the best friend I could ever ask for. So Tyler, Caitlin, and I, but this is just me and Tyler here, graduated from high school, and me and Tyler decided to go to Penn State University. It's a really big school in Pennsylvania, and we really liked it. There's our parents being super proud, but it was pretty awesome to be able to graduate with my high school sweetheart, and my parents were so proud. Now, in college is when I thrived. I joined every club. I was a woman in STEM. I decided to become an IT major, and I just learned so much about computers. I ended up getting a scholarship and tons of things. I thrived in college. My GPA was high. I was happy. I had all these friends. I've never felt this happiness before, and I think that's why when I left college, I have my confidence to kind of start YouTube and start everything, and I no longer doubted myself. So Caitlin was right. I am strong sensitive. Caitlin and I were also very into Jenna Marbles, so we would always be like, I am strong man, and I loved it. During college, in addition to my internships, I worked at Starbucks as a barista during most mornings, like the 6 a.m. shift, and I loved it. It ended up showing me how much greatness it is to be able to connect with people. So being a barista was one of my favorite jobs and things to do ever. To this day, I would say if all things went wrong, I will go back to become a barista because it was amazing. I love what I did. Every single day I clocked in with a smile on my face, and I thought it was amazing. One of the best jobs I would say to have, hands down. So there's me with my degree and my coffee in one hand. I'm actually a Starbucks collector now, and I don't just collect the cups. I collect anything, espresso machine things, anything that has to do with Starbucks. I collect it, and there we are, just a tech boy and a tech girl, and we got the idea to move to Texas. My parents were so sad because they just love me, especially being their first child that they had as a teen. So they were gonna miss me and Tyler, and his family was also very, very sad. So we packed up our cars and decided A week after graduation, we're moving to Texas. We signed the lease and we moved down here in June. We graduated in May. Right before we left to Texas, I was feeling really lost, so I decided to apply for my master's and start YouTube. Tyler was very, very supportive. I kept telling him I wanted to do it, and he's been super supportive. He'll stop and make sure I vlog everything, and it's been really great to be able to just share my life on the internet. And I want to just say thank you guys so much for watching. There's my little rabbit Eve. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you like my content. And yeah, thank you, besties. Bye.